Well, first and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone who are well and who taught us truth. Today's lesson will be entitled somewhere along the lines of Mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. How you think, how you conduct yourselves, how you walk, how you talk, how you go about your day-to-day walk, your day-to-day life, how you conduct yourselves. Because bro's been going into a lot recently about your mindset. How you, think upon things. The situations that the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshua puts you through. How you reason with certain situations. How you go through certain situations. And not allowing your mindset to react carnally, but rather spiritually. Because we'll just start with that real quick, because that's what the scriptures say, man. And bro's been going into a lot recently. Classes going into it, and we're getting closer and closer to the end, man. And there's a change that has to be made. Speaking to myself first and foremost. How we look about life, because we believe that we're going to get out of here very soon, man. But while we're here, we can't just be on autopilot, man. We can't just, I've done enough. I'm just gonna, just be on autopilot. No, there's stuff that we have to do, man, and it starts in the mind. Your perspective, how you walk, how you talk, how you conduct yourself. We want to react spiritually and not carnally. So this is what's that? I believe it was Romans 8. Yep, Romans 8 and verse 6. We'll get in the NIV right here. Romans 8 and 6. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the spirit is life and peace. So we don't want our mind being governed by the flesh, man. We want our mind being governed by the spirit, by Yahweh Shem Yahshai, because when you have a carnal mind, as it says in the KJV, for to be carnally minded is death. When you have a carnal mind, that leads to death, man. That leads to damnation, destruction. But when you have a spiritual mindset, it leads to life, man, to peace. It's all about how you look about your day and your perspective and outlook on the day, man. For example, yes, I did this lesson yesterday, actually. It was, about 38 minutes long. And then when I looked at my photos, my screen recordings uploaded, it said that it only uploaded the last 20 seconds, man. And, a carnal man would, fuck, God, start reacting like a niggard, man. Oh my God, man, wow. But we can't react like that, man, because that's how an individual in the world would react. We are spiritual men. Now, there will be times when you slip or you fall, but we cannot allow these carnal thoughts to overcome us, to overtake us. But rather, we have to overcome them and rebuke those thoughts, rebuke those demons, because that's exactly what they are, man. Demons. Another example. Real quick as well, yesterday morning, I was, I do a specific job, and, when I opened, the itinerary, whatever it may be, it looked like it was going to be a difficult day. When I woke up yesterday morning, I was like, man, it's going to be a difficult day. I looked at what I had to do for today concerning work. I'm like, man, it looked like it's going to be a difficult day. Today's going to be a bad day. But I instantly rebuked those thoughts and remembered the words that was we was going into concerning mindset. And I instantly rebuked that thought and said, nope, it's not going to be a bad day. It's going to be a good day. These are the thoughts that we have to allow to run the course within our mind, man. Because your words have power. Your mind has power. So if you think it's going to be a bad day, it's going to be a bad day. If you think it's going to be a good day, it's going to be a good day, man. Now, Satan's going to work. Satan's going to do what Satan does. But we cannot allow the enemy to run their course and run rampant within our mind. If you do not subjugate your mind and allow the Spirit to subjugate your mind, the enemy will. Romans 8 and verse 6, the mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace, man. So we cannot allow the enemy to win. We cannot allow the flesh to win, but rather we got to overcome it. It's all about how you react in today, man. We'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow gets here. What is this? 2nd Ezra 7 verse 58. We'll get verse 57. 2nd Ezra 7 and verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is a condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. So these are the conditions of the battle. And this is how, we got to fight, man. Spiritually and not carnally. This is not a carnal battle. This is not a physical battle, but rather it is a spiritual battle, man. As it says real quick, 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 3. If it'll scroll down, let's get the full chapter. 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. So this is a spiritual warfare, man. And it starts in the mind. It says, though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. We cannot allow these fleshly desires to drag us down, man. We cannot allow these fleshly desires, sin, lust, envy, pridefulness to drag us under the water. We got to keep our heads above the water, man. It says, verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against our knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach. We got to bring into captivity every thought, man. And that's what we're telling other individuals, other Israelites, brothers. And those who want to follow after Yahweh Shem Yashai, you have to take captive your thoughts, your mindset before the enemy does. Because if the enemy takes captive your thoughts, you're going to end up like the rest of the individuals in the world, as it says in Isaiah 60 and 2. Real quick. Isaiah 60 and verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness to people. But the Lord Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. This is exactly what the enemy wants from you. He wants to take captive your thoughts and bring you into gross darkness, just as he has brought into gross darkness the rest of the people in this society, the rest of the people in this world. He does not want you to come into the light. He does not want you to be in the light. He does not want you to think positively. He does not want you to have, peaceful thoughts, thoughts of peace, thoughts of positivity. He wants you to have negative thoughts. Why do you think all these rappers and these more so the rappers, why do you think they put so much more of a platform for rappers, R&B singers, etc., because they push forth a negative vibration when they speak. Gang banging, I fuck this individual's woman. I'm gonna go and pop a perk, pop a molly. I fuck this bitch in Gucci flip flops. This is the vibration and the words that the enemy wants you to think about constantly, man. And when these words continue to flow within your mind, now you're saying, I'm gonna go kill somebody. Oh man, fuck this place, man. Fuck this job. I hate this job. Now all you're thinking about is negativity. But we cannot allow negativity to run in our minds. We cannot allow the enemy to win. It says, so we got to bring into captivity our thoughts and to the obedience, and bring it to obedience and Hamashiach, man. And cast down every high thing, every proud thing that stands in the way of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. We cannot allow our thoughts to separate us from Yahweh Shem Yahshai. We cannot allow negativity to separate us from Yahweh Shem Yahshai. But rather, we got to be aligned with Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And negative thoughts is not going to align you with Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Your mindset has to be positive. And again, easier said than done. You're going to have your days. You're going to have your moments. But we want to win more than we lose, for lack of better terms. I really don't like saying that word lose. Because for instance, I don't say, man, I lost today. No, you made progress today. Every day we have to make progress. You didn't take an L today. You made progress. Instead of thinking on the bad things that happened within your day, think about the good things that you did. You went to work out. You got through the day. You read. You woke up in the morning and prayed. It's the little things that matter. And if you're only focused on the negativity, you're not going to allow the positivity to reign within inside of you, man. Again, your words and your thoughts have power behind them. So let's get this real quick. In Proverbs 4 and verse 23, we're going to actually get in the Blue Letter Bible. Proverbs 4. Matter of fact, we're going to start here in Proverbs 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord Yahweh with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. Because you have a lot of individuals leaning into their own understanding. And when you lean into your own understanding, it leads into negativity, negative vibrations, negative impulses. And now you're bugged out thinking that the lake of fire is actually the river fire. Now you think that the 1/3 and 2/3 isn't going to be destroyed here in America, but they're going to be brought over to the whatever. Now you're just bugged out, thinking that I'm done. I'm not going to say no more. But it says, verse 6, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. We don't want to direct our own path, because when we direct our own path, look at what has happened up until you came into the truth when you was directing your own path, man. Negativity, negative impulses, negative vibrations, man. But then when we allowed Yahweh Shem Yahshai to direct our paths, it led to the Spirit controlling our life, the Spirit leading our paths, and allowing positivity to begin to reign within inside of us, because we're not going to be perfect. Oh yeah, I got it down packed. I'm perfect. I'm positive every day. I can't say that, because that's not true. We have our days. We have our battles. Verse 7, be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord Yahweh and depart from evil. Because when you're wise in your own eyes, that is a negative vibration. That's not a positive vibration. And that leads to more negativity, man. So going over to Proverbs 4 verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence. Now let's go to the interlinear real quick. When you get that word keep first, H5341. It says na tazar. It says to guard, to watch, to guard from dangers. So you got to guard, as it says, you guard from dangers your heart. But when you go into the word heart, H3820, lob, which is going into your mind, your inner man. So your mind now is thinking. How are you thinking? How are you meditating? How is your reflection on today? Was you thinking more about the negativity that happened in your day, or was it more thinking about the positivity that happened in your day, man? It says so going back now, because what does it say? Keep. Natazor, to guard from dangers. So you got to guard your mind from dangers. Keep thy heart. Protect your heart. Protect your mind. Protect your thinking. Because the enemy is roaming around seeking whom he may devour. Real quick. Was that 1 Peter 5 and 8? Yep, birthday of Shimi Asai. We'll start up. 1 Peter 5 and verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time. Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. So we're casting everything to Yahweh Shimi Asai. It says in the NLT verse 7. Give all your worries and cares to the Most High, for he cares about you. So when you have a bad day, give it to the Most High. Pray to the Most High. Give everything to Yahweh Shimi Asai. Verse 8, back in the KJV. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So your enemy, Satan, demons, Esau, so-called white man, is always roaming around seeking how he may devour you. How are we going to try to get him today? Let's put forth more negative vibrations within the earth, and maybe we can catch up some of the elect, which ultimately they will never, and I mean ever, take away any of the elect that the Lord Yahweh Shimi Asai has already foreordained to be receive salvation. And if Esau does, devour an individual in the truth, so-called, they call themselves being in the truth, and ultimately they was never a part of the truth. They was never a part of the elect, because the elect will not be deceived, as it says in 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So Satan is not going to get an advantage of us. Our enemies are not going to get an advantage of us. And we cannot allow our enemies, Satan, to get an advantage of us. Because if you do allow Satan to get an advantage of you, then you will fall and you will not rise back up. So going back to that Proverbs 4, and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man, because we slip up. I slip up a lot, but we're not dwelling on that. What does it say in 2 Ezra 16? Let not your sins weigh you down. We cannot allow our sins, our mindset, these negative thoughts to weigh us down. We got to keep our head above the water. We have to. We cannot sink, because if you sink, you die. Proverbs 4, verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence. Give everything you got, man. It says in the NLT, guard your heart above all else. So above everything else, you got to guard your mind from dangers. It starts in the mind, man. So again, this is a spiritual warfare. It says, for out of it are the issues of life. So everything that comes from your mind is the issues of life. As it says in NLT 4, it determines the course of your life. So your mindset is going to determine your life. Your mindset is going to determine how you go about today. Your mindset is going to determine how you go about tomorrow, the next day after that, the next day after that, and so on and so forth, man. How is your mindset? If your mindset is positive, then you're going to be positive. If your mindset is negative, because when you think about it, if your mindset is only filled with negativity, do you think that you're going to have more negative? Let me see how I'm going to phrase this. When you have when your mindset is solely negative, do you think that your walk is going to be more negative, or is it going to be more positive? And then when you do the flip side, when your mindset is positive, do you think you're going to have more positive courses throughout your walk, or are you going to have more negative impulses throughout your life? Yeah, you're gonna, when you have a positive life, a positive mindset, you're gonna have negative times, but you're gonna have a lot more positive times. But it's the flip side. When you have a negative mindset, you're gonna have more negative impulses rather than positive impulses, man. It's all about taking 3 steps forward and 1 step back. We do not want to take 3 steps back and 1 step forward. That is not progress. It says, verse 23, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. So it says, again, put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. And that's going to lead into now Wisdom of Solomon 1 and verse 3. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 3, because what does it say? Put far from thee a froward mouth. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 3, for froward thoughts separate from the Most High, and his power when it is tried reproveth the unwise. And I read this yesterday, and I looked up that word froward. When you go into the online etymology, the word froward, turned against, perverse, disobedient, peevish, petulant. Now let's look at that word petulant or petulant. When you look it up, it says childishly sulky or bad tempered. So what did it say? Put for froward thoughts, for bad tempered thoughts, for childish sulky thoughts, separate from Yahweh Shem Yahshai, from the Most High. Now let's look up that meaning for childishly sulky. The phrase childishly sulky describes someone who is behaving in a way that is bad-tempered, pouting, and resentful. So if you're constantly always pouting, you're always resentful, you're always bad-tempered, brothers are trying to correct you, you come to counsel, bro's trying to correct you. Man, you don't know what you're talking about, man, on my hood, man. You don't know what you're talking about. That is a froward thought, man. That is a froward action. And with you doing that, you are separating yourself from Yahweh Shem Yahshai. You're always pouting, oh man, why me, Lord? Why are you putting me through this, Lord? Resentful. Oh man, I hate. Why are you doing this, Lord? Why can't it just be a little bit easier on me? Oh man, I hate you, Lord. Why, Lord? Look, feeling or expressing bitterness and indignation at being treated unfair. Why are you doing this, Lord? I should be doing better than this. You resentful, man. And then and that's what? Froward. That is froward. And that separates you from Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Now going back to froward, because we looked up petulant, childish, sulky, or bad-tempered. Go back. Synonyms: peevish. We see peevish up here. Peevish, bad-tempered, impatient. So you don't want to be impatient. What does the scripture say? And Ecclesiastes 2. Ecclesiastes 2 and verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So when you're in a lower state, now instead of being patient, now you're impatient. I gotta hurry up and get out of this situation. Oh man, sometimes you just gotta sit in the fire, man. Because the Lord is trying us. The Lord is testing us constantly to see, okay, I'm gonna put him through this today. Let's see how he reacts to it. We want to win more than we lose, man. We want to have more wins. We'll say we want to have more wins than lessons, man. Which everything is a lesson. But going back And when you read these things, all these is the personalities and the customs of a woman, man. Grumpy, complaining, you're always complaining, crabby, ungracious. You don't do this for me no more. Cranky. When you read this, that's what Esau wants, man. The Esau has pushed forward a vibration where the men in this society, the men in this world, is likened unto women. Now they have the aspects and the customs and the personalities of a woman, man. Now let's get that word peevish, because that was one of the synonyms as well for petulant or petulant. Peevish. Easily irritated. And what does it say? Especially about unimportant things. What does it say? About unimportant. So all this, everything that the Lord tests you through, puts you through, is unimportant. So we cannot allow the unimportant things of life to put forward thoughts within our walk, to put forward thoughts within our mind. All this shit is unimportant, man. What does it say in 2 Corinthians 4:18? For we look not at the things which are temporal, or the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. We're not focusing on the temporal. We're not focused on the unimportant things, man, that lead into death. Some synonyms: irritable, disagreeable. Now you're disagreeing with the brothers. Miserable. Now you're lazy. You don't want to get up and do nothing. Now you're out of a job. I hate this job, man. I'm going to quit. Now you ain't making no money. Now you're getting kicked out of the house. And now what? Now you say, oh, why, Lord, you put me through this? Well, the Lord was testing you. That's why he put you through it, man. And you failed. Grumpy, complaining, again, impatient, bitter, moody, in a bad mood, out of sorts, sulky, sour. These are all aspects of a woman, man. And what does it say right here? Doomed to die. So if you have a forward mouth, forward thoughts, if you're forward, you're doomed to die, man. About to depart, departing, and doomed to die. So it says again, verse 3. So we can apply all those synonyms to forward, man. So if you're having these thoughts, and you allow these thoughts, not just if you're having these thoughts, but if you're allowing these thoughts to reign within your mind, and you're allowing them to fester and to grow, and you're not rebuking them, and you're not handling them and dealing with them, you will separate yourself from Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Because again, we're not perfect, but we got to do the best that we can with the situations that have been given unto us. Wisdom of Solomon 1:3, for forward thoughts separate from the Most High, and his power when it is tried reproveth the unwise. So, because again, Proverbs 4:24, put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. So we got to put away a froward mouth, because what your words have power behind them, and if you're speaking froward things, you're gonna go through froward things. Your actions are going to be now froward. Instead of you just talking it now your actions are going to be froward, man. And that will separate you from Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Got some things I got to take care of. Isaiah 26. Okay, we didn't get the rest of this. So 2 Ezra 7 verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. Next verse. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. So if you allow your mindset and the negativity within the society to overcome you, and now you're just filled with negativity, you will suffer. You're going to receive destruction and judgment from Yahweh Shem Yahshai. But if you get the victory, you're going to get the blessings from the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai, man. Again, I ain't saying to be perfect tomorrow, but make progress. Rebuke those froward thoughts. Rebuke those wicked thoughts. Because again, this is a spiritual warfare. Ephesians 6, because I keep saying spiritual warfare. If I can find Ephesians. You say, I can't, where's Ephesians at? You have individuals who do that, man. Ephesians 6 and verse 11. Verse 10, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So, you got to put on the whole armor, man. The whole armor. Let's see. It says, verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So this is a spiritual warfare, man. And the enemy is always constantly trying to drag you under the water, man. But it's not like we don't have Yahweh Shem Yahshua behind us to keep us afloat. But if you don't want Yahweh Shem Yahshua to keep us afloat, then he's not going to keep you afloat, man. You got to want it. You got to desire it. You got to speak it, man. Speak it into existence, man. I'm going to jump down to verse 17. It says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. And what does a helmet protect? Your head. Your mind, man. Let's see. Helmet. G4030. Puri Kef Aliyah. A helmet metaphor. The protection of the soul, which consists in the hope of salvation. Oh, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it, man. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if the Lord is really dealing with me, man. That's forward thoughts, man. You sulky. You in an irritable mood. That's disgusting. Now that's all you're thinking about. And now you're allowing your mind to be filled with thoughts of you're not good enough, you're not important, and you just not. Oh man, I hate this place. And then you allow these things to fester, and then they just continue to grow and grow and grow until you're out of the truth. This is temptations, man. Trials and tribulations that the Lord is putting us through to make us into men. How are you going to react in those situations? Proverbs 25, verse 28. Right here in the ESV. Proverbs 25 and 28. A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Let's get in the KJV. Proverbs 25 verse 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. So you're like Babylon, man. The city of confusion. What does it say in Isaiah 24? The city of confusion is broken down. You're like Babylon, man. Because that's what Babylon breeds. Confusion, doubt, the doubt demon, pridefulness, froward thoughts, negativity. So if you have no rule over your spirit, you're like Babylon, man. You're like the people of Babylon. Broken down. No walls, no protection, no safe haven, no safeguard, no truth. In the NLT, a person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. So you're like America, man. Confusion, Babel. You gotta have control. Because if you don't control your spirit, if you don't control your mind, the enemy will. And the enemy wants to, man. And for some individuals, the enemy wants to control your mind more than they want to control their own mind. And then when the enemy wants more control over your mind than you do, the enemy will win. So we have to have control over our own mind, man. We'll end it off right here. And little one is edifying as well. Well, two more. Isaiah 26 and verse 3. KJV. Isaiah 26 and 3. Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. So you got to have your mind stayed on you. How about seeing me outside? Now let's get that word stayed. H5564. Shamak. Or not Shamak. Samak. H5564. Samak. It says to lean, to lay rest, to support. So where are you resting your head? On the enemy's lap or Yahweh Shemi Yahshua's lap, man? Do you want to rest with the enemy? Do you want your mind to rest with the enemy or with Yahweh Shemi Yahshua? Whose mind is stayed on him? Who is your mind stayed on? Yahweh Shemi Yahshua or the enemy? Who are you resting upon, man? Refresh, revive, sustain. Are you allowing your mind to refresh more negativity, or are you allowing your mind to refresh more positivity? This is a spiritual warfare, man, and we cannot allow the flesh to win. We cannot allow the enemy to win. Wisdom of Solomon 9 and verse 15. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthy tabernacle weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things. So so this corruptible body is constantly weighing down your spirit, weighing down your soul, man, trying to drag you under. Your thoughts, your way of thinking is always trying to drag you under. You're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. You didn't read enough today. You don't need to do a lesson today. Go ahead, be lazy. You don't need to go to work today. These are the thoughts that whisper within your mind to drag you under, man. And that's not even all of them. There's more that you can't even think of right now, man. They just pop in your head. You don't like that, brother, really? These are thoughts that pop in your head constantly, man. So and you cannot allow those thoughts to run rampant within inside of you. You got to rebuke them. Again, you got to keep your head above water. So what? You got to keep your mind above the flesh. You got to keep your mind above the flesh, man. Let's look at that up and then we'll end it. Meaning of keep your head above water. Meaning, definition of keep one's head above water. If you keep your head above water, you just avoid getting into difficulties. Right here it says, avoid succumbing to difficulties. Succumb, to fail to resist pressure, temptation, or some other negative force. Woo-hoo. So you cannot succumb to the negativity within this society, within this life. You cannot succumb to the negative impulses, negative forces, etc., man. You cannot give in. So keep your head above water means what again? It means to avoid succumbing to difficulties, to avoid surrendering to difficulties, to avoid submitting to difficulties, man. Opposite, to resist, to conquer. So what? So you got to keep your head above water, and you got to keep your mind above the flesh. So you cannot succumb to the flesh. You cannot succumb to the flesh. You got to resist the flesh. You got to resist the temptation. You got to resist the negative force. You got to resist the forward thoughts, the negativity within this society, because again, this is what Esau wants, man. You gotta renew your mind with positivity, because we grew up around negativity. Now we gotta renew our mind and be more positive. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the spirit, to the body, and to the fold. And before I end off, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, Bahashim, Chak, and double honors as always to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone.